Welcome back to the Sideline Buzz here on WSBU 88.3 FM. The Buzz, Ryan Adio, alongside Lily Goodman. And I'm sorry, say your name one more time for me.
Amber Clark Robinson.
Amber Clark Robinson. We got it this time. Would you mind just introducing yourself really quick?
Yes, I'm Amber Clark Robinson, and I am the safety for the Team USA women's flag football team.
That's awesome. So how did you get to this point? What kind of started your career?
I grew up playing a million sports. I played basketball, volleyball, I ran track, softball, like literally just about anything under the sun I could play, other than soccer. It's a different
Really?
story,
Okay,
but
right.
every other sport I think I did pretty well at. And then I ended up playing basketball, volleyball, and I ran track in high school. And then I went to UNC Chapel Hill for track in college. And then after I graduated, about a year, I just needed more. I needed that athleticism. I needed that competitive nature again because I just grew up with it my whole life.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding a tackle team in Atlanta. So I played that for about 4 years, and then COVID hit, so I couldn't play that anymore. But a few girls from the league introduced me to flag, and I just found it, and I've stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you went from tackle to flag. Did you prefer one over the other?
I don't. They're so different of a game. Tackle is so much about like power and strength and, being very physical. And I think the game of flag is just very technical.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fundamental things that you have to learn because you can't throw your body weight around. You can't just overpower somebody, grab somebody, and throw them to the ground. You have to pull a flag. You have to make sure you break down. It's literally all feet and hands,
Right. Yeah.
honestly. So they're both just so different, and I love them both the same.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through the moment where you were like, flag football, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do, and I know I'm good at it?
Honestly, the moment I stepped on the field. Like I said, because I was already playing tackle football, flag was just a different game for me, but in the same way.
Yeah.
It still offered the feel of football for me, and I've always wanted to play football, so it gave me that outlet. Honestly, though, the first two tournaments I played in, I was actually really bad. I couldn't pull a flag. I was
Right.
flag guarding. I had like a whole bunch of tackle mindset things going on, but I was able to finally like flush through it after a while when I got comfortable. I definitely started enjoying it and started finding my space out there.
So how do you feel about the development of flag football the last, let's say 5 or 10 years? I feel like it's really gone very far.
Well, I've honestly only been in flag for going on 6 years, so
Yeah.
I've seen the growth in these last few years from where in 2020 it was just kind of like a lot of weekend ball, and you see the same people at the same tournaments, and you just kind of hang out and you just have a good time.
Right.
And then I've seen it grow. I became a college coach in 23.
Yeah.
So I was coaching at the NAIA level, and that was super awesome to see that was the first place that girls can go and get a collegiate scholarship to play flag at the highest level. And then now I just started working for a Division II school in Michigan. So
Nice.
just being able to see that the growth of the game on both sides, like just kind of recreationally and then also nationally and then just collegiately, it has been just an amazing thing to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is your team camaraderie different than a perhaps regular old football team?
Honestly, every team I've been a part of has been really close, but this team is just different. You know what I mean? We in a group chat, we text literally just about every day, if not every day,
Awesome.
about just any and everything, just random stuff that happens. Something big happens for our teammate, we put it in the group chat and we support them, and we just make sure that we know that we're our biggest cheerleaders at the end of the day because, like I said, this game only moves with the people that are trying to push it and the people that believe in the game, and if we believe in it more than anybody, then I believe we can grow it to a highest rate.
Yeah, so how do you and your team overcome challenges together?
We honestly just lean on each other. Honestly, when we're very transparent with each other, from the coaches to the players, when things are happening, when people are feeling a certain way, just like mentally, like not something in the team, but just like for themselves personally. We talk about it. We encourage each other. We kind of talk through each other. We side text each other just to make sure that we know, like, if you don't want to put your business out in the group chat, like, you have somebody to still talk
yeah.
to. So, like I said, I think just the trust we've built in each other, it's just amazing. And it's something that I hope for every team to have.
Where do you see the sport of flag football developing in, let's say, 10 years down the line?
Who knows? Like,
Right.
Who would have thought that we'd be here in this
It's a tough
moment right
question.
now?
I know, I'm
right?
sorry.
It's fine. I love the question. It's not that. It's just like you just never know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
literally never know because who would have thought 5 years ago this would be this? Who would have thought
Exactly.
in 2015 and
Yeah.
2020 that they would have flag at the collegiate level? Who would have thought 3 years ago we would have the Olympics? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things like that. So it's like it's such a surprise every single time something happens, and it's just great to be a part of. Like, the unknown is sometimes scary, but sometimes can also be so beautiful, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
How young were you when you discovered flag football?
Honestly, I didn't find flag football until I was an adult. So in 2020, how old was I? That was 6 years ago. I was 26. So I found it in my adult life. And like I said, I kind of knew about it here and there, but I didn't know about it at the competitive stage until really I turned 26. But I never played it. Growing up, the most flag football I played was powder puff in high school.
Yeah,
but
right.
that's
Love
the
it.
closest I got to flag football.
All right, this is a tough question, but
Okay.
what do you think was the most challenging part of your career so far?
Honestly, I think to make the team first because I didn't make it the first 2 years I tried out. And I originally tried out in 21, and I didn't make the team until 23. So just continue to have that belief in myself and knowing that, yeah, it's tough right now. Yeah, it's not your time, but not now doesn't mean not ever. You know what I mean? So continue to believe in yourself, continue to push. And I think that was my biggest struggle at first. It was like that imposter syndrome of like, do I belong here?
Yeah.
Am I good enough to play on this team? But like I said, when I made it, it was just like, all right, you have a sense of belief now. You have a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's just something beautiful to be a part of.
And then in 23, you guys win the championship,
Yes.
correct? And you had the game-sealing
Yes.
interception. What's going through your mind? That's got to be an amazing feeling.
Honestly, I think I just blacked out. Like I literally almost passed out from screaming so hard. Like if you see
Oh my
in my neck,
goodness.
like I was literally screaming so hard.
That's so
I
fun.
stood up. I got
So
lightheaded,
good.
and
So
it was
good.
a lot of emotions. I was up. I was like, I did my head down like this. People thought I was
Right.
like celebrating it, but it was like, no. I was like, oh man, I'm about to get a flag because I threw the ball down.
Yeah, right,
But
right.
like it was so many different emotions, and it was cool because it was like in my home state. So I
Yeah.
had tons of family,
That's
tons of
awesome.
friends. Like my husband, my now husband, he was my my boyfriend then, but his family was there. His friends
That's
even
great.
showed up.
Yeah.
So it was just like super cool to have just so many people supporting you and that comfortable space to say that, hey, I'm home. Like,
Right.
so there's no sense of worry. There's no sense of like nervousness. I mean,
Yeah.
there is, but it's also like that sense of comfortability
Right.
because you have people to lean on in those moments.
Absolutely.
What was the most empowering thing about your career?
Say it again.
What was the most empowering thing about your career?
Honestly, just moments like this. Moments of being able to bring visibility to the sport and show representation, especially as a black woman in the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not trying to get political, but as a
Oh,
black
yeah.
woman in the sport, you know, it's just good to see that somebody is as successful as they are doing something that you love to see. So just being that for those little black and brown girls and
Yeah.
showing them like, hey, you can see yourself through me because I was y'all at one point.
That's awesome. Obviously, we're a radio station. Most of us are journalism students. How do you feel about the coverage of your sport specifically and also just women's sports in general?
I definitely think it's getting better.
Yeah.
I definitely believe it's getting better. At first, you know, it was kind of like in the back burner and everything, but I believe as the sport begins to take off and so many great opportunities and things are coming from it, I believe that it's starting to take spotlight, and it's amazing to see because it's really a great game with really great athletes,
Yeah.
and I'm glad the world is finally getting a chance to see that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, if you were to tell your younger self one thing, what would you tell her?
No dream is too crazy. Dream as big as you want, as loud as you want. You think it may not be for you, but I promise you, there's something coming in the end for that.
So obviously now flag football being an Olympic sport, I mean, how does that just bring so many different eyes to the sport?
I think it brings tons of eyes, and I think it brings really good publicity to the game. Like I said, it's a growing game. It changes, ever changing with the states that open up, with the schools that open up. So being able to have people see the competitive nature of the game because they think it's flag, it's not tackle, it's not as fun, it's
Right.
not as important as tackle, but now that they're starting to see like, hey, like there's some really good athletes, it's a really good game if you take a chance to sit down and watch it, so it's
Yeah.
really cool to let the world like in on our world
Yeah,
in a way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really pretty, yeah.
I got one more question
Okay.
for you. Obviously, Super Bowl coming up.
Yep.
Seahawks, Patriots, what's
Yes.
your final score prediction?
Ah,
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm
I
sorry.
know, that's tough. That's tough. Honestly, like I watch football, but I don't really choose teams, and I
Okay,
don't really
all
pay
right.
attention to like the scores.
That's fair.
I just hope for a good game.
Yeah,
I don't really want
I
a
agree.
blowout. I don't really want something that's going to be over in the first half. Like I want it to be very
Yeah.
enjoyable. I like free football.
Yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
going into overtime. You know what I mean? Anytime I get free football, I'm like, yes,
Right.
free football.
More football, the better. I
Yes.
agree.
So I'm just hoping that maybe we get free football, or maybe it just goes down to the wire and they compete all the way to the last time.
Yeah, I hope so too. I agree.
Yeah.
But
I
thank
have-
you so much.
I have one more question.
question.
One more question. I just thought of
Yeah.
one. I'm music director here. I gotta know, what is on your warm-up playlist?
That's funny you asked that. I am a very R&B, neo soul type of
Ooh,
girl. Like I like
yes.
to calm the mind and the vibe. I don't like to be like rah rah, like amped up in the head, like
Yeah.
here and there. But definitely right before the game, I definitely love to mellow down and just like calm yourself and just start getting in that mindset of like visualizing yourself. And I just think sometimes that rah rah just begins to like clutter your brain. And
Yeah, it gets
so
noisy.
definitely, I may look like I'm like very intense in the warm up, but I'm having R&B like singing to my soul in my ears.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Love it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
We
thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Sure.
This was the Sideline Buzz. You're listening to WSBU 88.3 FM, The Buzz.
Thank you.